This episode is supported by What Should I Do With My Money from Morgan Stanley. Okay, can we just talk about how money is legitimately one of the hardest topics to bring up? Like, even when you think you have your stuff together, there's always this really weird awkwardness around it. That's why I am obsessed with this podcast. It actually makes money conversations feel approachable. I recently listened to an episode about affording multiple big life things at once, like a wedding, a house, and IVF, if they were all happening at the same time. And honestly, it hit home. So many people are wondering, can we actually have it all without sacrificing our sanity or our savings? What I love is that they bring in real experts who help break down these massive costs into actual doable steps. It's like having a money mentor in your ear who gets it. Search for What Should I Do With My Money in your podcast player. We'll also include a link in the show notes. Many thanks to What Should I Do With My Money and Morgan Stanley for their support. I'm going to say something that might sound totally crazy in an era where everything is changing overnight. I spend less than an hour a week on one platform, and that single platform drives over 20,000 visitors to my business every single month. I don't have to dance. I don't have to record anything on my camera. I don't have to look for trending audio. I don't have to throw up a post and hope that somebody sees it. In fact, I don't even have to do this strategy myself. It can be outsourced. And while everyone else is exhausted trying to outsmart the algorithm, I have been quietly winning with a platform where the algorithm actually works with you and not against you. This is the Goal Digger Podcast, and today we're talking about the platform that has outlasted the algorithm and why Pinterest is still the smartest move that you're not making. Let's dive in. I'm Jenna Kutcher, and I help you trade hustle for purpose and build a business that gives you the life you actually want to live. From a $300 Craigslist camera to a 7-figure business I run from home, I've learned that success isn't just about what you do, it's about how you live. Here, you'll get strategies that work, systems that give you your time back, and steps that turn your effort into results and impact. If you're ready for clarity, confidence, and a business that feels as good as it looks, you're in the right place. This is the Goal Digger Podcast. Before we dive in, I wanted to let you know that this episode is brought to you in partnership with Pinterest, and I have the greatest honor of being a part of the Pinterest Educators Program. There are about 6 of us in total, which means that I get to share the strategies that have genuinely transformed my business, and I get to help you do the same. And so everything I'm sharing today comes from years of real results and real strategy, not just theory. All right. So I want to talk about what 2025 feels like if you are trying to build a business online right now. The thing is that social media has transformed dramatically. We have what we are calling the TikTokification of Instagram, which is essentially meaning that regardless of where you're showing up on social media, you are likely working so hard to create content, and yet only a fraction of your own audience might actually see it. And we're just talking about straight up seeing it. We're not talking about engaging with it. There have been stats that say around 3% of your audience actually sees what you post. And so what has happened is that so many creators and founders and entrepreneurs have bought into this lie that we must focus on endless posting and chasing trends and going viral and suggested content. And when you start to believe that lie, it is the fast track to burnout. It is the fast track to getting on this hamster wheel that you can never get off of. Does that resonate with you? You're thinking about like, how do I just create content about what I want to do instead of actually working on what I want to do, right? And so what happens is that we start to second guess everything because the metrics keep shifting. Like the ruler that we are holding our success up to keeps moving, and nothing, absolutely nothing about it feels reliable. And for me, what's happened is like deep down, whenever I start to get on the hamster wheel, I start to wonder like, is this really what it takes? Like, did I leave a 9-to-5 just to trade it for 24/7 content creation that might not even get seen and might not work? What I know to be true is that so many entrepreneurs did not start a business to become full-time content creators, right? You probably started it because you have something valuable to offer. You have a passion, you have skills, you have a story, you have a heart for serving people. But right now, if you are playing the game by those rules, you are probably stuck on a hamster wheel that never stops spinning. And if I had to guess, that only leaves you feeling exhausted. Now, I see it everywhere, in the DMs, in the threads, in the conversations that I'm having with women just like you every single day. People are feeling so discouraged. Like, we're walking around wondering if we're doing something wrong because our reach feels inconsistent, because we're posting more than ever and we're seeing less results than ever, because we're working so hard with so little to show for it. And here's the thing. It is not just you. It's not you. The truth is that social media platforms are designed for a few goals. And the main goal is to keep people scrolling. I'll never forget when I started to really reverse engineer what are the metrics that social media platforms are looking for? Like, how are they measuring their success? And the number one metric that they were looking at was how long are people staying on the apps? Now, what does this mean if we're a business owner and we're trying to send people to our freebies, our website, our sales pages, our lead magnets, right? When a social media platform's number one goal and objective is to keep people scrolling and to not get them distracted or sent off of the app, then we start to realize, like, hey, that might work if we're in entertainment, but it's probably not going to align with what I need as a business owner, which is to build a sustainable business that actually pays me and gives me my time back, right? And the psychological toll of trying to play the game where you know their metric is keeping people on the app and your big goal that is actually tied to results and a return on investment is to get people off of the platform. The psychological toll of that, of creating and wondering if anyone is going to see it, of watching your hard effort not translate into real results, of thinking that you're always behind or you're not doing enough, that is real. And it's not a reflection of your capability or your worth. And so what if I told you today that the problem isn't actually your content? What if the problem isn't even you? What if it's just that social media is designed for a different purpose than what you're trying to accomplish? And what if there was a different kind of platform altogether, one where the algorithm actually helps you get found instead of making visibility feel like a guessing game? Like where your content doesn't just expire after a day, where you don't have to perform or trend chase or sacrifice your piece just to be seen, where your work from 6 months ago could still be bringing you clients today. Like, what if you could finally stop piecemealing a strategy together and give your business the foundation it deserves? The good news is that place exists, and it has been hiding in plain sight this entire time. So what is that place? It's Pinterest. And I want to walk you through why Pinterest is the exception. There is a fundamental difference here. And here's what most people get wrong about Pinterest. They think it's social media, and it's not. Pinterest is a visual search engine, and that one distinction changes literally everything about how you show up and what kind of results you can expect from this platform. So on social media, people are there to scroll. They're there to be entertained, to be distracted, to kill time. They're not there specifically looking for you, right? You're competing for attention in this endless feed of content that is designed to keep them there. On Pinterest, people are there searching with intent. They're searching, they're planning, they're thinking through their project. They're looking for solutions to their real problems. They're literally going on and typing in things into the search bar, like how to start a podcast or content ideas for service providers or how to grow my email list. And beyond just people that serve other business owners, they're also looking for cute wardrobes and skincare solutions and craft projects for their kids. And the best part about this platform is you get to show up as the answer. So think about what that means for a quick second. You are not on this platform trying to interrupt someone's scroll, right? You're not trying to have the strongest hook or the catchiest dance or the best audio. You're not hoping that they just happen to be online at the exact moment that you post. And you're also not crossing your fingers that the algorithm feels generous today. You are there answering their question. You're solving a problem. They came looking, and you are what they find. And here's the best part. So 96% of searches on Pinterest are unbranded. What does this mean? That means that when people are going onto Pinterest, they're not typing in your name or your competitor's name. They're typing in what they need. Here's an example of this. So the other day I was looking for brown sneakers. Now, I was not typing in like brown Adidas sneakers or brown Nike sneakers. I just typed in brown sneakers. The same goes for the work that you're doing. You do not need to be a mogul or have your name be a household name on this. People are literally going there and they're typing in what they need. And if your content that you have pinned onto Pinterest is the right answer, guess what? You are the one showing up, not the massive business, not the Fortune 500 company. You don't need to be known. Like, think of how much a relief that is. You don't need 10,000 followers or a blue check mark. You just need to understand what your ideal client is searching for and create the type of content that answers those questions. Now, what does this mean? That levels the playing field in a way that is literally impossible elsewhere. And if you're listening to this, I hope you just let out a sigh of relief that this isn't another popularity contest. This is not another platform that you need to start from zero and grow to 10K. That is not how this works. There is a huge algorithm difference here. And let me be clear. Pinterest does have an algorithm, but here is what makes it different and why this matters so much for you and your business. So the Pinterest algorithm is a connector. It's not a separator. And so what's beautiful about this is it feels like a true partnership because your goals and Pinterest as a platform, their goals are actually aligned. Like you want to reach your ideal client. Well, Pinterest wants to give searchers the best possible answer. And so when you show up with good content and smart keywords, everybody wins. You're not fighting to get seen. You're literally being matched with people who are actively searching for what you offer. Are you starting to see how just this fact alone changes not only how you're creating, but how you're getting connected to the people who are searching for your creations? So this distinction, I think, is just so important because here's what it did for me and here's what it can do for you. It fundamentally changes the type of work that you're doing, and it also changes where you're spending your energy. I want to separate creativity from strategy. And I can follow a strategy day in and day out. It doesn't matter if I'm feeling creative or not. It doesn't matter. Pinterest is strategic work. You are not there trying to entertain someone. You are trying to answer what it is that they're searching for. You're trying to be the solution. And so it opens up a completely different approach to creation. You get to focus your creative energy on the actual content, like the thing that you are trying to get people to. It could be a course, a service, a blog, an offer, a freebie. Like this is the work that actually matters, the work that actually leads people to results and to take action. And so essentially what happens is then Pinterest then becomes this bridge that connects that work to the people that are searching for it. Therefore, you shift the way that you're showing up from feeling like you have to perform to feeling like you just have to be found. And so this leads to a massive advantage, which is all about longevity. Okay, it is officially that time of year. And if you run a business, you know the holiday rush is no joke. I've done more Black Fridays than I can count at this point, and let me tell you, orders at 2 a.m., inventory updates, refreshing my site, hoping it can keep up. It never stops being intense. That is exactly why I use Shopify. It keeps everything running smoothly when things get their craziest. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names to entrepreneurs who will be participating in their first Black Friday Cyber Monday this year. They've got ready-to-use templates, AI tools, and support available 24/7 so that selling stays simple even during the peak madness. And ShopPay's quick checkout, well, it's a game changer. It means way fewer abandoned carts and way more happy customers. This Black Friday, join the thousands of new entrepreneurs hearing for the first time with Shopify. Sign up for your free trial today at shopify.com/goaldigger. That's shopify.com/goaldigger. Go to shopify.com/goaldigger and make this Black Friday one to remember. A few months ago, I got my colors done and I learned that your girl is an autumn, which means out with the black and in with the brown. I have been rebuilding a capsule wardrobe lately, and my all-time favorite place to shop is Revolve. They add new products daily and you can sort by color and size and even build out wish lists. I recently got these brown Autry sneakers that I am obsessed with, and I snagged this suede bag that I couldn't stop eyeing for fall. Plus, they have inclusive sizing and constant new arrivals, which means there's always something that can fit your life and your style. Whether it's a weekend away, a big night out, or just a little style refresh, your dream wardrobe is just one click away. Head to revolve.com/goal digger, shop my edit, and take 15% off your first order with the code goal digger. Fast 2-day shipping, easy returns. It's literally the only place you need to shop from. That's revolve.com/goal digger to shop my favorites and get 15% off your first order using the code goal digger. Offer ends December 14th. So happy shopping. So let me tell you what happened last month. So just last month, a pin that I created over a year ago drove 1,200 clicks to my website. This is literally just one pin on Pinterest. I didn't reshare it. I didn't boost it. I didn't even think about this pin. It was literally just working for me. Because here's what makes Pinterest different. Pins don't disappear. Like, they don't expire. They don't get buried immediately. What happens is they actually gain momentum over time. So the average half-life of a pin on Pinterest is 13 months. Okay, compare that to a social media post that lives and dies within 24 hours, maybe 48 hours if the algorithm is generous. What does that mean? It takes approximately 13 months for one single pin, I'm talking about a single graphic on Pinterest, to receive 50% of its total lifetime engagement, such as clicks, saves, and impressions. So what does that mean? Some of my best performing pins are over a year old and still driving traffic every single week. In fact, I have pins that are 5 years old that are still driving traffic to my site, my blog, and my offers. So your content on Pinterest, think of it like this. It ages like wine, not milk. And in a world where so much content feels disposable, where it feels like you are creating it just to watch it literally vanish, that matters. Like, that shifts my energy so much. It means that the work that you're doing today keeps working for you tomorrow and next month and 6 months from now and 13 months from now. And when I look at this style of work, that's not hustle. That's straight up leverage. It's exactly what you need if you want to build a business that actually serves your life instead of consuming it. Okay, let me just paint a picture for you that might help you understand how this works in my life. So this is a moment where I realized my actual business results are coming from something different than I thought, because I think you might relate to this. So I used to show up on social media constantly. Like, I was on stories from the minute I woke up sharing what I ate for breakfast all the way down to my evening skincare routine. Like, I was the poster child for show up and stay visible. That was just how I was operating. And I genuinely believed that if I wasn't constantly online, my business would suffer, my visibility would diminish. Like, I thought that visibility required constant presence. And if people couldn't see me, they'd forget about me, right? And this worked for a long time until I had a baby. And suddenly I recognized, like, wow, my desire to share my life in this way is not there any longer, right? It literally evaporated. And no one really wants to watch a sleep-deprived mom who's obsessed with her baby all day anyway, although I will admit that I kind of tried that for a little while. But I remember having this moment. I think I was sitting in bed. It was after a night that I'd been up all night, right? And I remember just thinking, like, I cannot show up like I did before. And I definitely don't have the time to. Like, when you think about those early days as a new mom, I'm nursing around the clock. I'm barely sleeping. I'm learning how to be a mom. My hormones are fluctuating. I'm starving, like all these different things. Like, couple that with this idea or this feeling of like, I need to create content too. That felt impossible. And so in my business, I had planned a maternity leave, and I had planned to step away from all the aspects of my business, like email and the podcast and the blog. And I kind of left social media as like an open-ended thing. And I remember just thinking, like, I want to do an experiment. Like, I want to see what happens when I step away. And what was so interesting is I came back thinking, oh my gosh, my business is going to tank and I'm going to have to swoop in and save it. Like, how am I going to do this? But you know what happened? Nothing. My sales were still consistent. We were still growing my email list at the same rate. My content was still being found. People were still signing up for my courses, downloading my freebies, listening to the podcast, sending me messages about how that content was changing their lives. Social media had ultimately been this dopamine hit. And I was addicted to the instant feedback. Like, I am not ashamed to admit that the likes, the comments, the validation, it made me feel like I was doing something. Like, it felt productive. But when I actually looked at where my revenue was coming from, it wasn't there. Pinterest was this quiet engine running in the background the entire time. And that's when I realized I had been spending 80% of my time on platforms that were giving me 20% of my results, while Pinterest, which maybe took me an hour a week, was really doing the heavy lifting. Like, if you have ever had this belief of like, I am going to build it and they are going to come, right? If you build it, they will come. If you've ever had that belief in your business where you have built out a new website, or you created an awesome lead magnet to grow your email list, or you have this incredible offer, or you spent a ton of time on this meaningful blog post and you publish it and you realize that was only a part of the work, that you actually need to get people to the thing in order to get a result, then you know that feeling of like, wow, people don't just show up. You've got to guide them there. And when I recognized that Pinterest was doing the heavy lifting of guiding people to the work that I was doing and had already done, that changed everything for me, because I realized I could have both. I could have a business that pays me well, and I could also have a life where I don't feel indebted to platforms that are not actually providing me results, that I don't feel guilt going to bed at night that I didn't, quote, show up on an app that isn't actually getting me closer to my goals. And so it really was just this wake-up call. And I often think of this example. I was actually just watching the show last night, so I feel like it's very fresh in my mind. But imagine you're on Shark Tank and you're walking down the hallway and that music is playing, dun, 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 dun. And you walk in and you do your pitch and you just nail it, right? And then all of a sudden, Mark Cuban is like, all right, so like, how are you getting customers? And you're like, well, you know, I'm posting 3 times a day on Instagram. He's like, well, great, but what is the ROI on that? Like, what are you getting from that? Well, I get like 110 likes every time I post. And my post yesterday got 23 comments. Okay, great. But how is that actually translating into sales of your product? Well, I mean, I think people will click the link in my bio, right? Okay, can you start to see how if we can't answer honestly to the results that we're driving with the efforts that we are spending, there's likely not a strong enough ROI that's compelling, right? A shark wouldn't take that as a response, but there's also probably a compelling reason for you to look at a different place to spend your time. So let me tell you real quick about Pinterest. If you haven't looked at Pinterest lately, you need to. And I'm not just talking about looking at it as a consumer, because I know a lot of us love to plan out our dream wardrobes or our vacation or our next haircut. But if you haven't looked at it from a strategic standpoint, let's talk about it, because the platform has been making moves that make it even more powerful for businesses like yours. So Pinterest now supports direct links. What does that mean? That means that if you have video content, your video content can send people straight to your opt-in or your sales page, not just to your profile. So you're basically removing friction between discovery and conversion. Again, just making it a more seamless process for the user. They also have AI-powered search, and I would argue it's better than ever. Pinterest now understands context. So because of tools like AI, it can really read into what is your pin about, what is it for, which means that your pins can show up for searches that you didn't even specifically optimize for, meaning that platform is getting so much smarter at connecting the right content with the right searchers. On top of that, the analytics have been completely overhauled. So you get deeper audience insights. You can see traffic sources, so you can really track like, where is the traffic coming from? Where am I sending the traffic to? How do I optimize that? You also get deeper insights into what is actually converting. So what are people clicking through to, and how is that leading to a result for you? Which means you're not guessing, right? You have data. What I love is that Pinterest is constantly evolving, and it's evolving in ways that make it more powerful for people who actually want to grow a business, not just people who are obsessed with vanity metrics. And so I have been loving these updates because I feel like as a business owner who has been strategically on this platform for years, it is helping connect more dots, and it is also helping to make the user experience so seamless where somebody can literally go from searching to shopping, from searching to solution with 1 or 2 clicks. Again, Pinterest is this bridge, right? And so when you think of the goal of a search engine, whatever people are typing in the search bar, the search engine's job is to connect them with the most helpful, relevant info, right? And so it makes sense that it is a way faster path to results than trying to hook somebody with a post, trying to get them to engage with that post, trying to get them to click to your profile, trying to get them to click the correct link in your profile and then take action, right? You can sense the friction there. And so when we think about traffic and we think about like quality in terms of the different platforms, Pinterest traffic is there to convert. People are there with intent, not the intent to be distracted. They're not mindlessly scrolling at 11 p.m., though they might be. They're actively looking for solutions. They're planners, they're decision makers, and statistically speaking, they also have more money to spend. So let me just break it down for you. Globally, the audience on Pinterest is 70% women, 30% men. 42% of the user base is Gen Z, and the main reason that they're using Pinterest is to find information about products, brands, and businesses. So again, they're coming in with buying intent. Pinterest reaches 40% of U.S. households with an annual income of over $150,000. These are essentially people who can afford to work with you to buy your product, to buy your course, to invest in your services, right? Like these are people who are building businesses and raising families and making decisions about what to invest in. And so when a pin of yours sends someone to your website, they're not just landing on it by accident. They're searching for what you have to offer. They clicked because they wanted it. Like they are already opting themselves in. They're interested. And because of that, they are far more likely to take the next step, whether that's joining an email list, buying your course, booking a call. So can you see that you're not just fighting for attention from people who aren't your ideal client anyway? You're actually being found by people who are already looking for exactly what you offer. And again, that changes everything. It changes the way that you create. It changes the way you show up. It changes the way you feel about the dynamic and the way that the dynamic is starting off. Like people are already raising their hands saying, I need what you have. And so I want to invite you to consider a new way of marketing. And I want to kind of call it the slow marketing movement. There is a movement happening right now, and I will bet that you can feel it. People are tired. They are bone deep, like soul weary, tired of the hustle, right? They're tired of being told that success requires sacrificing literally everything else that matters. They're tired of platforms that demand constant performance and give back so little. It's being called the slow marketing movement, and it's not about doing less. In fact, it's about doing what actually works. It's about building systems that serve you instead of drain you. It is about rejecting that lie that you have to give up your peace, your boundaries, your time with your kids, your self-worth, your values just to build a business. And here's the truth, and I need you to hear this. Burnout is not a badge of honor. Being busy is not a badge of honor. Working yourself to exhaustion does not make you more worthy of success. And I would argue you shouldn't have to choose between a business that pays you well and a life that you actually enjoy living. You can have both. But I would argue you cannot have both if you're stuck in the systems that are designed to keep you performing, designed to keep you stuck on the hamster wheel. Pinterest fits perfectly into this new way of working because Pinterest rewards consistency, not urgency. It rewards strategy, not publicity stunts, okay? It literally lets you set up systems that keep working while you are living your life, while you're at your kid's soccer game, while you're reading a book on a Tuesday afternoon, while you're taking a real weekend off without your phone being glued to your hand. Let's be real. As business owners, we know a reliable connection isn't optional. I've had my fair share of slow and lagging internet, and let me tell you, nothing kills your groove faster. It is the ultimate productivity killer. You can't process payments, you can't talk to clients, and your team feels stuck waiting on you. Back when I started my business, I learned pretty quickly that things only run as smoothly as your connection does. And that's why I love what Spectrum Business is doing. They get it. They know that reliable systems keep your business running, your clients happy, and your stress levels low. Spectrum Business offers internet, advanced Wi-Fi, phone, TV, and mobile services built for your budget. And here's the best part. You can get free business internet forever when you add 4 mobile lines. No contracts, no added fees, just dependable service that keeps your business moving forward. Visit spectrum.com/free for life to learn how you can get business internet free forever. Restrictions apply. Services not available in all areas. It's time for Black Friday, Dell Technologies' biggest sale of the year. That's right, you'll find huge savings on select Dell PCs like the Dell 16 Plus with Intel Core Ultra processors. And with built-in advanced AI features, it's the PC that helps you do more faster. From smarter multitasking to extended battery life, these PCs get the busy work done so you can focus on what matters most to you. Plus, earn Dell rewards and enjoy many other benefits like free shipping, expert support, price match guarantee, and flexible financing options. They also have the biggest deals on accessories that pair perfectly with your Dell PC, improving the way you work, play, and connect. Whether you just started holiday shopping or you're finishing up, these PCs and accessories make perfect gifts for everyone on your list. Shop now at dell.com/deals and don't miss out. That's dell.com/deals. Years ago, Drew and I took a month-long trip to Maui. It was our first real break in a really long time, and we booked to stay through Airbnb. And that experience changed something for us. The place we stayed in felt so thoughtful and welcoming, like every little detail had been prepared with care. That trip inspired us to start hosting so we could create that same feeling for others. Fast forward to today, hosting our properties on Airbnb with my husband has become this unexpected project that we truly love doing together. Drew handles the logistics, coordinating our cleaner, tracking expenses, making sure everything's in working order, and I take care of guest communication. I love checking in with people and offering recommendations. It has been so rewarding welcoming travelers from all over, and our photo guest book is filled with the sweetest messages. It's also been such a smart move for our family because when we're not using the space, it earns a little extra income. Your home might be worth more than you think. Find out how much at airbnb.com/host. And so what I think is happening across the digital marketing industry right now, it's actually pushing more people towards this realization, right? Because when you're constantly creating and you're not seeing the business results that you hope for, you start to ask yourself the hard questions. And if you're not asking those hard questions and you're just thinking, this is it, I am here to tell you, this is not it. If you are not asking yourself, is this actually working? Am I stuck in a cycle that is designed to drain me? Am I actually getting real results? When you're working harder than you have ever worked and you're still not where you want to be, you have to start wondering, right? You'd be crazy to not start wondering, am I cut out for this? Like, is there something wrong with me? And again, there is nothing wrong with you. You are just missing the strategy that turns your effort into actual results. People are burnt out and they're starting to realize that this constant content hamster wheel, it isn't a real strategy. It's a trap. And it's keeping you stuck in survival mode instead of actually allowing you to scale and thrive and do the meaningful work that you set out to do. And so Pinterest offers a different path. It's removing the anxiety. You're not obsessively checking metrics, hoping you got lucky. In fact, I check my metrics maybe once a week, more like once a month. You're not sitting there wondering, like, should I have said this differently? Why am I not getting visibility? You get to create strategically, you optimize for search, and then you let it work for you. And that is what slow marketing looks like. And after years of being told to show up every day, multiple times a day, hustle harder, do more, be more, it is permission to finally breathe. So here's what this picture can look like for you. I want to paint it so that you can actually see it and you know that it exists. Imagine this. You spend just 1 hour a week, just 1 hour. It could even be less than that. You create a handful of pins using templates that are optimized and you schedule those pins. You hop onto Pinterest, you upload them, schedule them, and you move on with your day. You can literally set them and forget them. You can even log out until you go back in next week. You get to be fully present with your kids. You're not half paying attention to them while you're scrolling your phone. You can take time away. You're not sneaking away to quick, just get one more post up or check your analytics. And while you're doing that, those pins that you created yesterday, weeks ago, months ago, they're showing up in search results. They're sending people to your site. They're still filling your email list with your ideal clients. They're still generating sales. You're not checking analytics every hour. You're not white knuckling it. You're not hoping that you finally got something to actually work. You essentially planted seeds and they just keep growing. And so that's what Pinterest can give you. It gives you peace of mind and compounding visibility in a business that actually serves you and a strategy that respects your time in your life. So I got a text message the other day, and this perfectly captures why Pinterest is different and why this matters so much. So it's from a friend of mine. She's a photographer, and she texted me and she goes, "This is the funniest testimonial for your course." She said, "I had a VA take your course and help me implement this." She said, "I booked another photo shoot last week from Pinterest, and I haven't even logged into the platform since 2022. It's the marketing that keeps on giving." This is literally verbatim her text message. 2022. She hasn't been on the platform in over 3 years, and she's still booking clients from it. Like real, actual humans, real revenue, real bookings on her calendar. Let that sink in for a second. Pinterest is the most forgiving platform ever. It doesn't just stop sending you traffic just because you stepped away. It doesn't penalize you if your life happens. If you need to take a month off because your kid gets sick or you're going through something hard or you just need a freaking rest, your pins are still out there working for you. You're not starting from zero every single time you come back. You're not being punished for being a human being. Like that photographer friend, she set up her Pinterest strategy once. Her VA spent a few hours a month creating pins, and they built out this library, and they did that strategic work up front. And now even years later, it is still to this day bringing her clients, still helping her fill her calendar, still making her money. That's the power of a search engine with an algorithm designed to connect. You build this library of content, and that library keeps working whether you're actively adding to it or not. Okay, so let me just walk you through how this kind of works. So essentially, when you are showing up on Pinterest and you're recognizing that it is a search engine, you also need to recognize that you can be someone who brings content onto Pinterest. I laugh because at least once a month, somebody will send me a picture of me or my work on Pinterest, and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, look at what I found." And I'm like, I know, it's because I put it there. And so when you are creating with Pinterest in mind, you are creating from a very different space, a space that isn't calling you to catch someone's attention. It is that space that is calling you to answer their query or their search questions. And so what I love about Pinterest is it shifts the way that you create so that you're constantly creating content based around what does my ideal client need? What are they searching for? What are the questions they have? What rabbit holes are they going down? How can I provide solutions and content that answers those questions? And I will tell you, as a creator, this has allowed me to continue to create over a decade. I'm talking thousands of posts, hundreds of episodes, without ever feeling stuck, because there are always things that my ideal client needs that I can create. And so it shifts where you are creating from. And instead of trying to catch attention, you're helping somebody, which I think is where our hearts live. And once you create that piece of content, that could be podcast episode, a YouTube video, a blog post. It could even be an Instagram post. Did you know you can use Pinterest to grow your social media platforms? It could be a community, a course, a sales page, a lead magnet, any piece of content. Then you get to create a pin that will describe or show off that product, service, offer, and you upload it to Pinterest, and you tell Pinterest where to connect that pin to. So you get to designate the URL that pin goes to. Now, the cool thing is that Pinterest prioritizes fresh content. And when I say fresh content, that doesn't mean 10 new blog posts or 20 podcast episodes. That means new pins. And so think about this. What is easier for you? Is it easier to create one piece of content or 10 graphics using templates that promote that one piece of content? I mean, if you are good in Canva, or if you can learn to be good in Canva, you could create 10 pin graphics in 10 minutes easy, right? And so what's beautiful is you can create an unlimited amount of pins that are all unique in their own way that point to the same piece of content. And so this flips Pareto's principle from this idea that I need to be creating new content 80% of the time and promoting those creations 20% of the time to I need to be creating new content 20% of the time, and I need to creatively be promoting that content 80% of the time. Pinterest does the heavy lifting for you. So imagine, let's say you create just 5 pieces of content over the span of a month. That's about 1 piece of content a week, right? Give or take. And you could create 10 pins for each piece of content. That is 50 different unique ways for those pieces of content to be found. Now, let's say you leak those 50 pins out over the next few months, recognizing that every single standalone pin has a half-life of 13 months, meaning anything you pin today has gotten half of the results that it will get in the next 13 months. That's crazy, right? So when you start to think about that and think about how it compounds, it is insane. The other thing about Pinterest that is so beautiful is, like I said, you can connect any pin to any destination. So you can send people to your podcast, to your Instagram, to your YouTube, to your email list, to your blog, to your website. And the thing that I love that we've touched on is, again, you do not need a massive following to get results. You don't need 10,000 followers or anything. You just need the right keywords and the right content that answers what people are searching for. And so I've had pins with minimal engagement metrics, like not a ton of likes, not a lot of comments, nothing that would make them look super successful on social media, that have driven thousands of clicks to my website. I'm talking thousands, because Pinterest doesn't measure engagement in the traditional sense. Like, it's not counting likes and comments and shares. It's measuring whether your content answers somebody's question, whether it's actually useful, helpful, and relevant. And when I think about the people that I serve, when I think about you want to be useful and helpful and relevant. You want to help make a difference and make an impact. It is a completely different game, and it's one you can actually win even if you are just starting out. And so let me be transparent about what this looks like in practice. So Pinterest drives over 20,000 organic visitors to my website and content every single month. This is not paid traffic. It is organic. People who found me through search. And we spend less than an hour a week managing it. Now, I say the word we because I developed the system and I pay my amazing gal on my team, Kaylee, to manage my Pinterest. She spends 1 hour a week. Imagine outsourcing 1 hour. Let's say you pay a virtual assistant anywhere from $15 to $30 an hour. If you could spend $15 to $30 this week and you could create work that will be working for you a year from now, would that be worth it? I mean, that is crazy, right? We are doing the wrong trades, right? We're spending our time and our money in the wrong places. And so when you think about how you can do this, what Pinterest actually gives you is leverage. That is exactly what you need to stop trading time for money and start building systems that scale. Some of my pins from years ago are still in my top 10 traffic drivers. They've sent thousands of people to my site without me ever even thinking of them again, without me touching them again. I've created them once and they're still working today. And that is just not what we're getting in other areas. So I want to pivot this with just a question. And this is something that I think about all the time. And I think about it from a place of safety and security, but also a place of like, am I spending the precious time that I have, the non-renewable resource of my time, in the right places, both in my business, but also in my life? And the thing that I think about that feels really wild is if I were to walk away from my business tomorrow, if I never created another piece of content, never posted another thing, could my business still be working for me? Would my work still work for me? And when I think of that question, Pinterest is the yes. Pinterest would still be working for me. The pins we posted a week ago, they're still going to be driving traffic a year from now. The library we've built up over the years, it stays connected to results, even if I were to fully step away. And so when I think about meaningful work, and when I think about the trade-off of time and money and energy and the return on investment of the work that I am doing today, I can sit here in full integrity and say that the work I'm doing today matters, not just today, not tomorrow when we hit publish, but for months and years to come. And I feel like that has given me this approach to business that has kept me present, that has kept me purposeful, and that has allowed me to really stay protected from this idea of burnout. And so what is so beautiful is when I think about how I'm creating a library, not a feed. And my library will keep working whether I'm actively adding to it or not. And so that's what I mean when I say Pinterest is a platform that can outlast the algorithm, because it's not built on trends or virality or constant performance. I think all of those things are life sucks. It's built on search, and search doesn't go away. And so this is why I care so deeply about Pinterest, because when you have something that works in your favor and not against you, when you have something that is designed to connect people with answers and solutions, you actually get to do the work you want to do in the world. And you do it from a place of not stress and urgency, but of being a servant and a helper and being someone with solutions. And so the final thing I want to leave you with is, when we think about how our work makes a difference, we have to not only create the work, but we have to get the work in front of the people we've created it for, also known as like traffic, right? And this isn't just about traffic. I think that a lot of times we think that eyeballs equal results. But when we actually think about what traffic represents results. It represents leads and sales. It represents new clients, consumers. It represents awareness and learning. Traffic really represents you being found by the people who need you the most. It's having your work stay in power. It's about building a business that feels sustainable. It's about planting things instead of endlessly climbing and competing. And so in a world that keeps telling us we have to do more and be more and post more, Pinterest is a platform that essentially says what you have already created is enough. Now let's make sure people can find it. So if you have been on the fence about Pinterest, I want for you to ask yourself, what would it mean for your business if you had a traffic source that just kept working? Like, what would it mean if you had a strategy where the algorithm actually helps you get found instead of making visibility feel like this mystery? That is what I want for you. And that is why I care about Pinterest. I don't want to just be the Pinterest girl. I'm proud of it. I love it. I love to teach people how to leverage this platform. But what I want more is to give you a system that allows your work to work for you, that takes a very small chunk of your time each week, that gives you the faith and the belief and the knowing that the work you're doing will compound over time, that the seeds you are planting will reap a harvest over and over again in the future without you having to do one more thing. And that is exactly what I teach. Now, I have an exact system. I can teach you how to take the content you already have and turn it into a steady stream of traffic, all in under an hour a week. And again, this is not fluff. It's not theory. It is a literal step-by-step process that has worked for me and thousands of my students. And if you need to see and understand this at a higher level, if you want to understand how you can 20x your traffic in under an hour a week, I want for you to sign up. I have a free masterclass. It's called Pin Once, Traffic for Months. And you can go save your seat at teachmetopin.com. That's teachmetopin.com. We'll also link it for you in the show notes. And essentially, this is the training I wish I would have had when I was starting out. This is the thing that has allowed me to build this system and this structure and has changed vehemently how I create my content so that I'm creating out of a place of service and so that I'm answering questions before people can even ask them. And so if you have been waiting for a sign to finally take Pinterest seriously, this is it. And inside of the masterclass, I literally show you how I take one piece of content and turn it into 10 pins. I show you how to make fresh content for Pinterest in 10 minutes. And it's not about abandoning social media completely. Social media has its place, but it's about having a strategy that doesn't live and die based on variables that are out of your control. In this year, the smartest entrepreneurs aren't putting all of their eggs in one basket. They're building multiple streams of visibility, and Pinterest is the one that keeps working even when everything else feels uncertain and ever changing. And so here's what I know. Platforms are going to keep evolving. Strategies will continue to shift. Trends will keep coming and going. But Pinterest, it has been here. It is still here. And it is going to keep working for the people who understand what it actually is, a search engine that has an algorithm designed to connect you to the people already looking for you. Let's build the thing that will finally bring you peace and profit and purpose and not more pressure. So grab your free seat. I'll see you inside of the training, teachmetopin.com. It's called Pin Once, Traffic for Months. And I will see you in there. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Goal Digger Podcast. I hope this is the time in your life where you take Pinterest seriously and you get pinning and you get your strategy set so that the work you do today will continue to drive results for you in the weeks, months, and years to come. Until next time, Goal Diggers, keep on digging your biggest goals, and thank you so much for spending your precious time with me today. Thanks for listening to the Goal Digger Podcast. I hope today left you inspired and equipped with something you can put into action as you build a business that truly supports your life. If this episode resonated with you, here's how you can help the show reach even more entrepreneurs. Hit follow, share it with a friend who's building something meaningful, and if you're feeling generous, leave us a review. Those reviews help other listeners discover these conversations when they need them the most. This show has become so much more than I ever imagined, and it's because of listeners like you who show up and share. You are helping build something that will inspire entrepreneurs for years to come. For show notes, links, and resources, head to goaldiggerpodcast.com. Keep digging your biggest goals. The world needs what you're building.